Welcome! This is what has been happening on the Sun today, the 22nd of April 2011. As you can see from the sunspot image, there's been a lot going on since we last talked. 1191 has disappeared over the west limb, 1193 has remained relatively active, but most of the activity we've seen over the last 24 hours has been in region 1195 and the associated region 1196. As I said yesterday, the small spot trailing region 1195 has been numbered, it's now 1197, and overnight a small region popped up in the southwest and has been numbered 1198. Unfortunately just in time for it almost to disappear again. Talk about nailing a forecast. Yesterday I predicted we'd have C flares, and in the last 24 hours we've had 5 of them, and I also opened up the possibility of an M flare, and indeed we have had one. All of this activity has been basically from 1195. So taking a look at the regions that recently rotated off the disk using the Stereo Ahead spacecraft, we can see that on the east limb from that point of view, that 1193 is far more active than any of the regions that recently disappeared. To find out what's been going on the hemisphere facing the Earth, we turn to the Solar Dynamics Observatory. In the following sunspot and magnetic movies, the areas I like you to focus on are, of course, the 1195, 6 and 7 complex down in the southeast, and also this rapid appearance and rapid disappearance region in the southwest. In the Helium-2 movie, I think we can see at least one of the flares in the region 1195. So in the Corona movie, we can see the development in region 1195, but also check out the northeast limb. There seems to be some very high and dynamic loops coming from behind the limb, which is heralding the return of some of the regions that disappeared over the west limb a couple of weeks ago. Last but not least, we go to the stereo behind spacecraft to see what's coming up over the east limb, and we can see those regions in the north stretching back quite a way. However, they seem quite weak and diffuse, so I'm not expecting a great deal of activity from them. And that conclusion is confirmed by the composite coronal image. From the SOHO data we see we've had a couple of faint coronal mass ejections. Now, coronal mass ejections can be faint for two reasons. One, that they're not very dense. The other is that they're not in the plane of the sky. These images are taken from light that's scattered off of electrons. The denser the electrons, the more light is scattered. However, the scattering is preferentially at 90 degrees. So thus a coronal mass ejection on the limb will look brighter than an identical coronal mass ejection, say 30 or 40 degrees from the limb. Now let's see what's going on in the space environment near the Earth as a result of all this activity. At the moment the auroral zone seems quite quiet, and this is confirmed by the KP index, which is varying between 1 and 3. So in summary then, the sunspot number is increased to over 100, the X-ray background is up to C1 level, the solar radio output is running at 113 solar flux units, solar wind speed has remained fairly constant at 450 km per second, and the KP index is rated as quiet. So my forecast for the next 24 hours is that there's a very good chance of getting more C flares. I still think we have an opportunity to get more M flares, and it's even possible that we might get an X flare, though I still don't see the explosive growth necessary for that sort of event as yet, but that could always happen. We're continuing to get CME, so I see no reason to change that forecast. I still haven't seen any sign of a geomagnetic storm that NOAA forecast a couple of days ago, but if it is going to hit us, then it should be any time in the next 24 hours. That's it for today. Keep safe. Bye for now.